What's going on, guys? Got another comic book haul video for you. I picked all these up from the Kentucky Flea Market last weekend. It was Labor Day weekend. They had a big flea market at the fairgrounds here in Louisville. So I went 2 days. I'm actually going to have to split this up into two videos because I got too many comics for one. This first video is just going to be kind of random pickups. The second video is going to be all Ghost Rider, Punisher, and Wolverine books that I picked up. Start off with this one. This is Gears of War number 10. This is the Wildstorm series. I've been picking up some of these covers because Jim Lee did them. He did 8, 9, 10. Those are the ones I have so far. And then there's his signature right there, Jim Lee 09. So that's why I've been picking these up. Jim Lee is a great artist. Harkens back to my childhood, of course, from late 80s, early 90s. So anytime I see a Jim Lee cover, I pick it up, unless it's like Superman or something. Not really into that. Next book, we have Haunt. Again, some other artists from the 90s. This is a McFarlane and Kirkman book. This is a cover by Greg Capullo, kind of paying homage to Amazing Spider-Man 300. I haven't started reading this yet. I've only picked up a few of these Haunt books. But the covers all look really cool. They're either Capullo or McFarlane, the ones that I've seen so far. So I'm just going to try to pick as many of those up as I can. I should say all these, I think I picked up all these books for $1 so far. I'll let you know if there's a couple I paid $2 for. I'll point those out as I go along. Next book is Marvel Comics Presents number 50. These Marvel Comics Presents series was really cool because they allowed a lot of the artists to showcase their talents before they were put on regular series. And this one is this cover is by Eric Larsen, doing some Spider-Man and Wolverine. And I think this was probably before Larsen's run started on Spider-Man. He took over for McFarlane after like early 300s. So I really like his Spider-Man, so picked this one up. And another one, this is number 48, another Eric Larsen, Spider-Man and Wolverine. You gotta look out for these Marvel Comics Presents covers because these ones aren't flip covers, but they do have a back cover on them, wraparounds and stuff. I think that one, yeah, it's a wraparound too. Later on in the run, they start doing flip covers, so you kind of have to know both covers to look out for to grab them. Next book is kind of a weird one. This is Heroes for Hire number 13. This is strictly a cover by. The description in the Key Collector app is pretty funny. You should go check that out. But it's basically a homage to some interdimensional tentacles / hentai stuff. So I've read through the book. There's some aliens in there that look like insects with kind of tentacles, but there's nothing crazy going on. So this is just a weird one-off cover, I think, that was pretty hilarious. So I just picked this one up. Next one is SheHulk number, 53. This is an homage to Amazing Spider-Man 39, where Peter Parker and the Green Goblin learn each other's identities. So you can see Green Goblin's on this one as well. I'm not sure if he learns She-Hulk's identity in this one or not. I don't even know if her identity is a secret. I was never really read She-Hulk, but I'll definitely check out the Disney Plus show that's coming out next year probably, so looking forward to that. One thing I want to point out on this is the first one that I noticed. Let's see, it says Morgan after Ramita. So you see that sometimes in the signature block. That's when the artist pays homage to an earlier cover. So this one, the artist Morgan is referencing the Ramita cover on Amazing Spider-Man 39. So I just thought that was kind of cool. The artist paying tribute to who inspired them or who they're ripping off. So that's nice. Next book, I paid $2 for this one. This is Aliens vs. Predator number 1. This is the original Dark Horse series from late 80s, early 90s. I'm not sure exactly when it came out, but this was really popular when I was a kid. There was a bunch of Aliens, a bunch of Predator books. They actually did that before they teamed up and fought each other in the movies, so it was always just kind of a who would win kind of thing, Aliens versus Predator. But it was in the comics, so we never really expected for it to come on the movie theater and the movie screen, and when it did, it was kind of cool. I mean, the movies were pretty terrible, but it was still just kind of fun to see them act out on the big screen what they had in the comic book. So this one doesn't go for anything. The first Predator #1, the original Dark Horse one, that's like $100 book now, at least high grades. It's ridiculous. But this one, it doesn't really go for much, but I picked it up just for nostalgia. Next one, we've got New Warriors 1. This is the second print. You can tell by the gold background. I picked this one up. I think New Warriors was probably the first series when I was a kid that I remember buying the #1 for. Back then, there weren't, for Marvel at least, it didn't seem like they had a ton of #1 issues. They weren't starting a lot of issues. They weren't constantly rebooting the runs that they had and the titles that they had. So, every week nowadays it seems like there's a #1, like a Spider-Man #1, or a couple months ago they did Iron Man #1 again. They just constantly reboot, do like a 12 issue run, then reboot it again. It really didn't happen back in the 80s and 90s. So when a #1 came out, it was kind of a big deal. And I remember really liking New Warriors, so I picked up the second print. I haven't been able to find the first print for a decent price since I got back into collecting, but definitely keep an eye out because I'd love to get that. The original one was an orange cover, not this gold one, so hopefully I can get that soon. All right, next stack, I'll start with this Silver Sable #1. I picked this one up. This was it's either 50 cents or $1. I picked this one up just because it's a newsstand. It's a pretty good shape too. There's been rumors that Silver Sable might be in the new Spider-Man movie or get her own series in the Sony Spider-Verse, because I think Sony has the rights to her because she's a Spider-Man character. That's what she's classified as, at least. So might see her eventually, but it's a cool 90s embossed cover. Just when I got done saying there weren't too many #1s in the 90s, here we go. Here's another one, so pick that one up too. Next, What If Captain Marvel Had Not Died. This is from Volume 2 of What If, #14. This introduced me to the Cosmic Marvel universe when I was a kid. I wasn't really into the cosmic stuff like Silver Surfer or Adam Warlock or anything like that. But I saw this What If, and I didn't know who Captain Marvel was, and I certainly didn't know he had died. So this kind of introduced me to all that. And Cosmic Marvel is definitely my favorite branch of the Marvel universe now. So kind of opened that up for me. So this is very nostalgic for me, and it's got awesome Ron Lim art on it as well. Next, we've got a What the Christmas Special, #10 newsstand. I picked this one up just because it's got a weird appearance in it. Let me flip to it really quick. It's kind of an unofficial appearance. Let's see, we've got right down there, Mr. Bart Simpson. This is his first unofficial appearance in comic books. This is a Marvel comic. This was before the Bongo label started, so it was a few years prior to Simpsons officially joining the comic book universe. Next, we've got X-Men 18. I picked this up. It's just a cool Omega Red cover, and this is actually the last issue that I needed to complete my 1 to 25 run for Volume 1 of X-Men. I've collected that when I was a kid, and I managed to put it all back together. Most of them are pretty cheap now. 4 and 5 go for something because it's first Omega Red and first cover Omega Red, but all the other ones you can find for pretty much $1. Speaking of X-Men, sorry, had to do that. X-Men Adventures, this is season 2. This is the comic based on the cartoon. The cartoon was awesome when I was a kid. It's kind of the first comic book cartoon that I remember watching. It was kind of all we had back in the 90s. It had Ninja Turtles and stuff, but that was based on the comic, but the cartoon was so much different than the comic book. So the X-Men cartoon was really cool because they were basically based on the Jim Lee drawn X-Men from the early 90s. And it's always going to hold a special place in my heart, and just love picking these up. Next, we've got Youngblood Imperial. This is a collaboration between Robert Kirkman and Murat Michaels, and good Rob Liefeld cover. Haven't read this one yet, but I'll pick up anything Liefeld does, and when Kirkman's involved, I'll pick that up too. They did a run on Infinite. It was like a 4-issue miniseries. It was pretty good. It was mostly all set up. It looked like it read like they were setting up for a bigger story that never happened, but it was still pretty cool. Next, we've got X-Men vs. Avengers #1. This one was 50 cents too, I think. Just picked this one up just on the hope that it might actually turn into something once X-Men join the MCU. They might pull from this to, do some battle scenes or some story between the X-Men and Avengers. I'm not sure, but it was only 50 cents, so why not? Another great Rob Liefeld cover. We've got Youngblood #2. This is the first appearance of Prophet. He's the guy on the front. Something to look out for on this one, too. This is a flip cover. So these early Youngbloods, they had 2 stories in them. Each one was about 15 pages. So if you're flipping through and you see Youngblood 2 with SheHulk on the cover, know that the flip side is Youngblood 2. Now, this doesn't go for anything right now, but some places they might sell it for like $5 or something, but you can still find these in the cheap ends. And this one has the purple title. There's 2 of them, the purple one and I can't remember the color of the other one, yellow maybe. But I don't know if one is more rare than the other, but I just pick them both up. There's a screenplay being written for the Prophet movie, so it might come out, in 2 years or so. But there's a ton of these out there, so it probably won't be ever worth anything, but I just love it. Alright, you got Mighty Avengers #1. This picked up a little heat back during the WandaVision show because it's got it's Captain Marvel's Spectrum or Photon. I can't remember what she is in this. This is her first team appearance, I think, with this particular group of Avengers. There's rumors we might see them in the MCU. So I picked this one up for $1. It goes for 15 to 20 now. Picked up another copy of Robo Cop #1. This one's a newsstand though, so it's a little harder to find, and it's in pretty good shape for a newsstand. So I just picked that up for $1. Let's see. Last stack, we'll do New Avengers 54. First full appearance and origin of Brother Voodoo as Sorcerer Supreme. So he's going to be in Doctor Strange 2. So this might pick up some value. X-Men 53. This is a newsstand. This is the first appearance of Onslaught. So it's not in the best shape. There's plenty of spine ticks on it. It's beat up pretty good, but it is a newsstand, so it's kind of to be expected. We'll see. Next, we've got Hulk Raging Thunder #1. Now, this is the first appearance of Lyra. I think that's her on the cover fighting Hulk. She's the daughter of the Hulk and Thundra. This one's going for about $20 now, so I picked it up for $1. So she might come along in the MCU eventually if Hulk ever has a baby. So we'll see. Next, we got Marvel .1 #1. This is kind of a preview book, I think. The reason I picked this one up, this is the first cover appearance of it's America Chavez right there in this comic book that Samuel Jackson, aka Nick Fury, is throwing at you. She's going to be in Doctor Strange 2, so all her books are heating up right now. Picked this one up for $1. It's going for about 20 right now. Next, we got New Guardians #2. Now, this is probably the strangest book that I picked up. So this is an old DC book, and the reason I picked it up is for the villain, whose name is Snowflake, but he is fueled by cocaine. So you say, I am Snowflake, every cell of my being, burning with white-hot energy, cocaine is my god. That's him in the red right there. Picked this one up for $1. It's going for like 5 or 10, whatever, but it's just hilarious. These panels in here, he's powering up by sniffing literally handfuls of cocaine and just going bonkers on people. So I thought that was pretty funny. Definitely an 80s super villain if there was one. Next, we've got Thunderbolts 115. This is that Warren Ellis run that I'm trying to complete. I think I'm only 1 or 2 issues away now, so pretty happy about that. Next, we've got Chevelle Noir, what is this, number 1. This is a cool Dave Stevens cover. He's picking up heat right now because of Rocketeer. They just announced a Rocketeer show on Disney Plus, so all his early stuff and Rocketeer books are going up right now, and this is one of his early covers. So I found this for $1, just picked it up. And lastly, we got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. This is number 13. This is the first appearance of, I think they call him the Spirit of Vengeance, Ghost Rider from the future. This one heated up when Donny Cates did his Cosmic Ghost Rider run, because there was, is this the first Cosmic Ghost Rider from Guardians? Because, he's in the future and blah, 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 whatever. But it's just a really cool cover. I think this is Jim Valentino. He was still drawing this. So I just really like the cover, the space motorcycle with the flaming skull. It's some super powered flame because it even works in space. Gotta love that. Alright, so that is my first part of my flea market haul. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you later.